Hey, what's up mortals, this is Edward Sailor here, and before we get into today's video, there's something I'd like to say. I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, if you didn't know, only 25% of you guys have subscribed to us, so please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the video. For today's deep dive, we will be talking about Senku Ishigami from the series Dr. Stone. Before petrification happens to the Earth, he's a genius high school student who is 10 billion% in love with science stuff. It started way back when Senku was still a kid, and he is fascinated by all the world's mysteries as his dad describes him. It was a clear bright night when he wondered why the moon was always following him, and his dad teased him that maybe the moon had a crush on him. Fun fact, the moon is 384,400 kilometers away from us. The reason why it looks like the moon is following us is that it's so far away. Back to the story. Senku's dream as a kid is to go to space, and he shared the same goal with his dad, who is an aspiring astronaut. He is an adoptive son of Byakuya Ishigami, and there is no known data about his biological parents, sadly. For him to be able to achieve his dream, he started to read a lot of books and conducted a lot of experiments and other science stuff. As his father sees that he is giving a passion to it for Christmas, he bought complete science laboratory materials for Senku as a gift. With those materials, he started to do more scientific experiments. One of the first experiments he conducted is a pretty simple one, wherein he burns things using the magnifying glass by reflecting it to the sun. Senku became friends with Taiju Oki back when they're in grade school. Taiju protected one of the scientific inventions of Senku from the group of high school students who were trying to destroy it. Later, after the incident, Taiju became an assistant for all his experiments and a very close friend to Senku. He started to work on one of his significant projects by building a prototype rocket that they called Senku-1, which can transport him to space. Back in their middle school years, Taiju introduced Yuzuriya Akawa from the handicraft club to Senku, where she made look-alike dolls for them as initial passengers for Senku 2, and it turns out the dolls made it out to space. When Senku finds out that JAXA is looking for an astronaut, he remembers his dad, who is a former JAXA applicant way back 10 years ago. Senku came up with the idea that can help his dad to ace the training test, and he made an electro-training suit that can help Byakuya to swim. After 4 years, Senku's dad made it to the list of astronauts who are heading to the International Space Station. It was precisely 3,718 years before Senku broke free from becoming a stone statue. The first logical thing he did is that he tried to know the cause of the petrification and how he broke free from being a stone. He counted exactly 117,354,883,570 seconds for him to identify the year and the season. After that, he started to live in a primate way by gathering all the necessary stuff that he needed to survive, like acquiring fire, stone tools, rope, traps, bow drill, pottery, clothing, and shelter. During those times when he started to gather all the stuff, he was called the Shining Monkey by the monkeys around the area who were curious about his actions. He later finds out that nitric acid from a nearby bat cave causes his depetrification, and he also finds his friend Taiju and helps him to depetrify by bringing him inside the cave. 6 months passed, Taiju came out from being a stone, and he went looking around for Senku after he visited the statue of Yuzuriya. Then Senku explains everything that happened to the world to his friend, as well as the experiment that he was doing that can solve the depetrification. For the side story, whilst Taiju was foraging for some food, he luckily found some grapes that can be used to acquire nitrile acid. They started to make wine out of the grapes first and process it to make ethanol alcohol. By mixing the nitric acid and ethanol, they got the nitrile acid, and Senku acquired the revival fluid that can help to depetrify all the statued people. To try to depetrify Yuzuriya first, unfortunately, wild lions hunted them. Whilst on the run, they found the statued body of Tsukasa Shishio, who is known as the strongest primate high schooler back in their time, and they depetrified him so he can save the two from the lions, which is what happened next. It turns out that Tsukasa is a big help to them in terms of hunting food and other stuff. Not until when he discovers the plan of Senku about the revival fluid, and he goes into a rage and threatens him that he will kill him if he continues to revive all the statued people. Later, they depetrified Yuzuriya whilst Tsusaka was away, and they went on the run, heading to the mountain after Senku told Taiju about Tsukasa's plan. Tsukasa killed Senku by twisting his neck, and he went back into the cave to control the production of the revival fluid. Taiju and Yuzuriya were devastated after they found out that Senku was dead, not until they noticed that he was still not fully depetrified. They dropped some revival fluid to his neck, and he came back to life. The three decided to make the different way. Taiju and Yuzuriya will be going to join Tsusaka as agents, while Senku will look for the other people who may have survived. Before they made their separate ways, they found the Kingdom of Science. During his journey, he found Kohaku stuck under a vast tree trunk and helped her to get out by making a pulley. Kohaku later invited Senku to accompany her back to the village. At the village entrance, Senku met Ginro and Ginro, the village guards, and Chrome, who lived outside the village. Side story, Chrome used to proclaim himself as the village sorcerer who collected different kinds of rock minerals. He challenged Senku by showing many science tricks to him, but he still lost at the end. As for the prize, Senku now owns all the collection of Chrome and his place. This is where Senku started to establish officially the Kingdom of Science, as Chrome and Kohaku being one of the first members. Before we get back into the dive, I would like to say that we've got a third channel called Anime Theory. Anime Theory mainly focuses on a large variety of mind-boggling anime theories. Now, in case you guys didn't know, we are a secondary channel to our main channel, We the Celestials. We the Celestials is full of fun what-if stories. If you have the sugar tooth for great storytelling, please give the channel a visit as well. If you're interested in the content we share with all channels, make sure you click on the icon on the top right corner or check the description below for a link to the channel. Now with that out of the way, let's get back into the dive. Later, Senku found out that Kohaku's sister, Ruri, who's the priestess of the village, has been sick since she was little. So he came with a plan to make a sulfa drug, a kind of antibiotic that can cure Ruri's sickness. Along with his plan, he got help from Suika, a cute little girl from the village, Ginro, Chrome, Kohaku, and Kazuki, the village craftsman. On their way in making the drug, they obtained the iron sand, which they turned into iron and made an iron magnet, a golden spear, liqueur, copper, which they turned into a wire. They developed a man-powered generator out of the stuff for the source of electricity. Senku started to need human resources from the villagers, so he made a ramen out of foxtail millet, a common type of grass that can be found around the village, and offers it to the villagers. The villagers fell to his tarp and made them his workers for the iron furnace. This is where he met Gen Azakiri, a mentalist and an agent from Tsusaka. Side story, Tsusaka didn't know that Senku is still alive after he tried to kill him, so he sent Gin to make sure. Gin turns out to be an ally of the Kingdom of Science after Senku saved him from the villagers who attacked him. As their work continues, they acquire the quartz sand for making glasses for Suiku and Gunro, who both suffer from having a fuzzy eye, and glass laboratory tools. A silver spear for the detection of sulfuric acid, a gas mask for protection, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, chlorosulfuric acid, sodium hydroxide, and ammonia from the urine as for the essential chemicals for the medicine. Senku asks Kazuki to make a water carbonator for the carbonated water to make a cola for Gen and for the drug. By mixing the tar, a residue from the furnace, with the acid, Senku obtained the aniline, and by putting the other acids to a process, they got the paracetomedobenzenesulfonic acid. 1 millimeter away from finishing the drug, the village holds a grand bout tournament in which the winner will be the next village chief. So Senku joined the tournament and met Ruri, who is near to death due to her sickness. Later on, Senku won the match and became the new village chief. As for the prize, he will be marrying Ruri, which he divorced after a few minutes and head back to the Kingdom of Science laboratory with vinegar and alcohol. Because of Ruri's condition, Senku immediately finished the drug overnight by adding the sulfonamide, and as for the finished product, they had a miracle sulfa drug. It made Ruri feel better again, and Senku became the official village chief of the Ishigami village. Senku was shocked when he found out the name of the village is Ishigami, his family name. Ruri told him about the hungry tales of the village, and it's been revealed that his dad founded the village after years when the group of astronauts went back to Earth from space. One of the other inventions that Senku did for the Kingdom of Science is when he made a cell phone. Side story, Tsukasa found out that Senku is still alive by sending other agents again, informed Senku that Tsukasa would invade the village after the winter season. So Senku came up with an idea to make a cell phone for the village communication for them to win the war. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now there's a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. On behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer for this video, as well as the editor for this video. Their details will be in the description. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or you're interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up the head of one of those areas. We're always looking for members to join us. That's it from us for today's video. Thank you all for watching the video, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit that like button if you liked the video. Until next time, peace out mortals, and have an amazing day.